Akanksha, you have a mixed heritage of UP and Bihar. Hmm?
Ma'am, UP and Jharkhand.
UP and Jharkhand, huh? Okay, what is your connection with UP?
Okay, so ma'am, Uttar Pradesh is actually my ancestral village is in Uttar Pradesh in Azamgarh. My father joined the service in Jharkhand, so my schooling till class 12 has taken place in Jamshedpur, Jharkhand. And but my father, after serving in Jharkhand, post his retirement, has shifted to Uttar Pradesh again,
To
Varanasi.
Banaras? Varanasi.
Yes.
That's wonderful. What is this ODOP? What is the product of Varanasi?
Ma'am, under one district, one product is a scheme in which we are specializing every district in a specific product. Varanasi specializes in Munj products, ma'am, which is made up of grass. So various styles of crockery and holders are made out of Munj grass.
Do you think it's ironic that ODOP product of Varanasi should be Munj?
Ma'am, I think apart from Munj, there are other things also like Varanasi silk weaving and Banarasi sari, which is supposed to be the heritage of Varanasi. But Munj grass also grows in abundance in the outskirts of city and rural areas. So maybe that's why.
Because if you ask Banaras, anybody would say silk.
Yes, ma'am.
Today, what ails the Banaras silk industry?
Ma'am, Banaras silk industry is largely shifting from handloom to powerloom now. So, and a lot of competitive products are also coming up. So, it is difficult for the buyers to differentiate between the original handloom product and the machine made products. Apart from that, ma'am, a large part of the manufacturing is also now being outsourced to southern states of the Varanasi silk weaving. So we have karigars who are in south who are now specializing in silk weaving. So the
But
manufacturing.
karigars in the south always specialized. There were different kinds of silks, Kanjivaram, Malkamud, Yevo, etc., etc. But Varanasi had its own skill set. Huh?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
what about the yarn? Is there an issue in yarn? Yarn.
With the silk yarn, ma'am.
Okay. Which silk
Ma'am,
yarn is used in Banaras now?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I'll have to look it up. I'm not sure about it.
Never mind. Fair enough. All right. You've got a very interesting and very specialized hobby of informal letter writing. So, how is it different to formal letter writing?
Ma'am, I wrote informal letter writing because I wanted to differentiate that it is not done for formal purposes like writing a letter to, say, the Vice Chancellor or to the Prime Minister of the country. So, informal letter writing involves writing letters to close ones like friends and families.
So now, in this day and age, who writes letters? In this day of WhatsApps and chats and emails, who writes letters? Is it a remnant of a bygone era?
Yes, ma'am, I think you are right in saying that, but a lot of people think that way. But I feel that in the era of instant messaging, letters have their own depth which they bring to the
Of course,
table.
and how many responses do you get? That's a good idea to know who are your real friends. Anybody who replies to your letters is a friend in today's
Yes,
context. Very good.
yes, ma'am.
That's a good criteria for discriminating or discerning. All right. So now, what is this Gyan Vapi issue?
Ma'am, the Gyan Vapi issue is related to the Places of Worship Act of.
About five, six sentences. Come to the point because I'll ask you other questions. To the point.
Okay, ma'am, the Gyan Vapi issue is actually about a contested site, archaeological site. Now, it is claimed by the Muslim fraternity that
Hindus say that the temple was destroyed and a mosque built on it. Yan Vapi Mosque. That's the genesis. Now we
yes.
go further on it.
Okay, ma'am.
So, what is the most recent development of the last 3, 4 days in this issue?
Ma'am, a judgment has recently been given by the High Court
No,
in which
Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. Okay, sorry, ma'am. By the Supreme Court, in which the entire issue of Gyanvapi, the real issue about Gyanvapi is being decided according to the 1991 Places of Worship Act.
No, what is the judgment about? It's a
Ma'am,
specific thing.
ma'am, I'll have to look it up.
Doesn't matter. That's all right. Now we can come to the point. What is the issue about Places of Worship Act? It was actually there was an order, and the High Court passed an order, and it was challenged in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court upheld the High Court order. So what was that particular point in that order?
Ma'am, I know only about the Places of Worship Act as such. It
Clause.
says,
It was to do with a particular clause, whether it's attracted or not. What is that?
yes, ma'am. The Places of Worship Act 1991 says that the sites of religious importance which were there in 1947, they will remain as such with some exceptions, like the Ayodhya, the site of Ram Janmabhoomi and so on.
And
And
so on. What is and so on?
ma'am, Gyanvapi is one of those places which is being contested.
Mhm.
But ma'am, I'll have to look up the whole issue. I'm not abreast with it, ma'am.
Who made the mosque? Do you know?
Ma'am, it was built by Aurangzeb on Aurangzeb's order.
Mosque in Varanasi. Hmm?
Gyanvapi Mosque, yes, ma'am.
All right. Now let's go to Krishna Janmabhoomi, Mathura. What is the issue there?
Ma'am, I'll have to look it up, ma'am.
All right.
Sorry.
Okay. Shall we go to the third place, Ayodhya? What's happening? What's the latest development?
Ma'am, in Ayodhya, the judgment has been already passed, and a Ram Mandir is being constructed, which will be inaugurated on January 22nd, 2024.
Now I'll give you a case study. Hmm? Supposing you are district magistrate of Uttarkashi and this Silkyara matter happens. 41 miners trapped inside. What are the steps you would take? Tell me four. 1, 2, 3, 4. What would you do?
Ma'am, first of all, I will assess the situation. Similar incident, ma'am, exactly like Silkyara.
Silkyara only. Let's look at that. Hypothetically, Silkyara. It's happening all the time in Uttarakhand now.
Yes, ma'am.
This one got visibility for various reasons, but it's happening. We had a couple of some time back, the Chamoli thing burst and something happened. It's happening all the time.
Ma'am, first of all, I will inform the National Disaster Response Force, State Disaster Response Forces about the issue which has taken place. I will also try and call help from various agencies to assess the situation, like Geological Survey of India. Here, if it is a tunnel collapse, then we will also have to have
What does
some.
GSI do, by the way? They've already told you that it's all unsafe. Don't do any more here.
Uh, yes, ma'am. Then I will also. I was meaning to say that I will call some specialized agencies which have some depth on the matter. For instance, here we called in tunneling experts in Silkyara, so I will have to take their help also. I will also call the local police because the miners who will be trapped, their families would be here around the tunnel, so they will have to be. The area will have to be cordoned off, and then, ma'am, I will, based on their inputs, I will start the rescue operation.
Fair enough. There are 3 new criminal bills introduced. Tell me in 2 sentences the key features of each of them.
Ma'am, three new criminal bills which have been enacted are the Indian Evidence Act, the Civil Procedure Code,
Just
and
say the
Indian.
two key features.
Ma'am, I'm aware of a few things, like the whole idea is to Indianize these bills so as to remove references like dishonor to the crown and so on, which were mentioned in
That's
the.
irrelevant. What are the
Yeah,
core?
ma'am, mob lynching has been listed as an offense here. Some new
In the Evidence Act amendment. You were talking about the Evidence Act.
No, ma'am, not in the Evidence Act. I'm not aware of the
What is the
details.
key feature of the Evidence Act? Just one key feature.
Ma'am, I
Never
cannot.
mind. The other ones?
Ma'am, as I said, some new offenses have been added, like mob lynching has been made an offense which was not so previously. Apart from that, ma'am, I'll have to look it up.
All right. Your father was in the steel. Jamshedpur means Tata Steel, I guess, right?
No, ma'am, he was in the Bihar Administrative
Yeah,
Services.
administrative service. Okay. Then I won't ask that question. Okay. Over to you, Mr. Verma.
Well, Akanchha,
Good afternoon, sir.
good afternoon. You have a pleasant personality and you are handling questions quite well so far. I see a promising candidate in you, and maintain your pleasant this thing, persona.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, you are from Jharkhand,
Yes, sir.
and Jharkhand is known for one problem, that is Naxalism.
Yes, sir.
So, from your experience, of being in Jharkhand, your father was serving there, you might have been interacting with him as well. So can you give 2, 3 most important reasons which, in your opinion, compelled locals, local forest dwellers go into the lap of Naxal ideologues? वो नक्सलिज्म की तरफ क्यों चले गए?
Yes, sir. So my experience has largely been in city, but I have read about the issue of Naxalism here. So the first is at the root cause of Naxalism is inequitable development. So, for instance, the tribals have this feeling that their land is being used for developmental purposes, but they are not the beneficiary. This is one. The second would be, sir, indoctrination. A lot of these tribals who have some resentment are also indoctrinated by certain groups, and this indoctrination results in them picking up arms. And the third is, sir, that the government outreach programs somehow cannot reach the primitive tribal groups in the far-flung areas of the state, like Khunti, Palamu, Gadhwa, and so on. So, sir, we need a better outreach from the government also to solve the problem. However, I would say that the issue of Naxalism is on a rapid decline now. The spread of red corridor is now shrinking, and we have the violent incidents have decreased by almost 80% in the past decades. So I think we will solve the problem of Naxalism in the coming few decades completely.
Well, Akanchha, you have given a very, very mature answer. Hmm?
Thank you, sir.
But a few things are missing.
Sorry, sir, couldn't hear you.
But a few things are missing.
Okay.
It's a balanced answer,
Okay, sir.
which will suit, those who don't want to be blamed for this problem. You said they got indoctrinated by the Naxal ideologues, by the Naxal ideology. Why did they get indoctrinated? What was the reason of their dissatisfaction, which, sort of made them to agree for this kind of ideology, which is violence based?
Sir, as I said that since the Jharkhand as a state is developing, but the fruits of development have not been equitable because these people have not benefited from the process. And also, sir, there is a gap, as I said, the government to these primitive tribal group and so on, the gap is yet to be bridged completely. So taking advantage of this situation and taking and using their grievances and remorse when they do not have a proper forum to voice it, then sir it is being leveraged by some harmful elements of society who indoctrinate them.
All right. Okay, Alfonso. It's okay for the purpose of facing UPSC. If there is a question on this, next stage. We have a lot of mines in Jharkhand.
Yes, sir.
The hazards keep happening, accidents keep happening. People get trapped in underground mines. Supposing there is a such incident which has happened in, say, some district of Jharkhand, Dhanbad or Sindri or somewhere, Ramgarh, in a coal mine. Miners are trapped inside. And you are the district magistrate. Okay. I'm putting the same question which ma'am asked you, but in a bit different context. As a district magistrate, what will be your immediate response? Or what will be your first response? Don't tell me that I will inform NDRF and all that. That I have heard.
So I think, sir, in any sort of disaster, the first responders are the community members. Sir, so we
I'm
will.
not asking who is the first responder. My question is, a district magistrate, what will be your priority? What will come to your mind first on priority?
Sir, I think on a priority basis, first, I will have to assess the situation in terms of how many miners are there, where they are located. Can we, if the mine collapse is not complete, if there is any escape route, can we take help of some able-bodied people within the community or civil defense forces who can help them escape? Or if it is entirely blocked, then we will have to call the then I will, sir, have to inform the state disaster response force for immediate help.
Okay. When you are district magistrate or superintendent of police or a responsible person on the spot, and living human beings are trapped, they have a fundamental right, human right to life. From there, your response will start, right to life. They need water,
Okay, sir.
they need food.
Yes, sir.
If they are trapped inside a tunnel, source of oxygen, how will they breathe, or they will die of asphyxia? Because rescue will take time.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You
sir.
saw in the tunnel case, took time. During this time, when rescue is underway, they need to survive.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So at district magistrate, you will see to it, are we meeting their right to life? The requirement, पानी का प्रबंध है कि नहीं, खाने का प्रबंध है कि नहीं, अगर कोई बीमार है तो क्या हम दवा पहुंचा सकते हैं कि नहीं, अगर वो किसी होल में ट्रैप्ड हैं तो इज देयर सोर्स ऑफ ऑक्सीजन or they will die of asphyxia. Such things should need to come to your mind.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So far as rescue is concerned, that is job of the experts.
Okay, sir.
Expert will do that job. As district magistrate, your job is slightly different.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so think like this. इस तरह से अपने आंसर्स को ओरिएंट कीजिए अगर इस तरह का आंसर, इस तरह का क्वेश्चन यूपीएससी में आपसे पूछा जाता है. Okay, you are a geography student?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we see there are mines in Sindri which are, burning for now decades, underground mines. What is the issue? क्यों नहीं उसको हम लोग फायर को कंट्रोल कर पा रहे हैं?
So the issue is of coal mines in Jharia, which have been burning for very long. So the reason, as per my reading, is that here we are going for in Jharia open cast mining, and most of the time, sir, the mines are not filled; they are just abandoned like that. Sand filling doesn't take place, and the layer of mineral is very close to the ground, sir. And because they have some elements which, when come in contact with air, they get the combustion process takes place, sir, because the coal rich minerals are very close to the ground, and so proper filling up of these mines after using them up is not taking place, and these mines are abandoned, and because yeah, so that's the reason why there is a long.
Does it has to do with the greed of the miners, the companies which were given the patta for mining?
So I think an
greed
element.
component.
Sir,
when we sacrifice safety measures.
Yes, sir. So I think after the mining operation, due consideration should be paid to mine closure also. Usually, these private companies, after mining, they leave the area and go on to the next area. So mining should be planned in a holistic manner, wherein the responsibility to close the mine with sand and other material should also be with the corporates. That can lead to.
Last question from geography. The environmentalist, the geologist, they say we should not interfere with the Himalayas.
Sir, your
whatever.
So voice is breaking, sir.
What is this?
Sir, voice is breaking. Can you please repeat, sir?
You could not. Yes. Okay. Like environmentalists, geography experts, geologists, they can raise the concern and give the caution that we should not interfere with the Himalayas on the name of development or whatever. Why this concern? Why they talk of limiting development, limiting human interference in Himalayas?
So the Himalayas are tectonically active mountain chains. They were formed in the tertiary period and they are still growing. The Himalayas have sedimentary composition which are weak rocks. So based on these factors, it is advised that large scale projects should, by some environmentalists, it is advised that large scale heavy infrastructure projects should not be constructed in the Himalayas. However, so we should also remember that there are people living in the Himalayan states who, for their basic necessities, need roads, highways, and so on. So we should find a balance between ecology and development in Himalayas.
लेकिन जो पहाड़ी लोग हैं जो पहाड़ों में रहते हैं, जैसे कि आप हाईवेज बना रहे हैं यहाँ आने के लिए, हमें इन हाईवेज को दिल्ली आने के लिए जरूरत नहीं है. We don't need these highways to reach the plains. You need these highways to come to our place, and this is causing trouble to us.
Yes,
So
sir.
whose purpose are we serving?
So, by making these highways and roads, although it may seem that we are serving the people located in Delhi, but we also should remember that because of this highway, a lot of businesses are also coming to the Himalayan states in far-flung areas. The tourism industry is also burgeoning, it is expanding, because of which the income of the people is also increasing. So overall, sir, their condition is better off than what it used to be few decades ago. But yes, we should take into consideration that we should not build very large highways. As the Ravi Chopra committee had pointed out, that highways should not be beyond 5 meters in width in the Himalayan areas. As far as possible, it should be less than that so as to not affect the fragility of the Himalayan ecosystem.
Okay, please, Varun.
Okay, Mr. Varun, you may take
Okay.
over.
What are the challenges with the internationalization of the rupee? All right, especially regarding oil payments.
Okay. So the first thing is that so, internationalization of rupee is a concern because many countries do not would not accept rupee to trade in rupee because they will have to find another buyer who is also willing to trade in rupee. That is one. The other is that Indian rupee is not in wide circulation as far as global standards are concerned. So again, finding a partner who is going to take rupee will become problematic. Also, sir, in India, we do not have full capital account convertibility, which will also be a problem to internationalization of rupee.
Okay, today, in the news, there is a country which has accepted the Indian rupee as payment. Which one is that?
So if it's today's news, I'll have to check it up, sir.
To go through it. Okay. Uh, what was the impact of India's import of Russian crude across the oil markets?
So India usually used to import crude oil from the Middle East,
Mhm.
and because of import from Russia, for India we are getting crude oil at low prices, at relatively lower prices. So its impact on the crude oil of Middle East is that its demand has decreased because
Mhm.
India is a large market for crude oil.
Mhm. Okay, right. There's a lot of cyber issues which are happening these days, right? What are your views on it? There's a lot of sextortion. A lot of even educated people have been caught. What is your view?
So I think we are living in an age of technology and there is no going back from here. The only thing that we can do is ensure that cybersecurity is strengthened. As citizens, we need to be more digitally trained. We need to know about cybersecurity issues, how to keep changing our passwords and so on. The government has taken various initiatives like Cyber Swachhata Kendra, enhanced literacy, which can be steps in the right direction, sir.
Okay, Shikhar.
Hello, Akanksha.
Good afternoon, sir.
Uh, so the present era, as you call it, like it's an era of technology, but it's usually also known as Anthropocene. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Let's say if you've been given an opportunity to name it and to change it to Manthropocene, would you do that?
No, sir, I think Anthropocene is a more gender neutral term. So, So I would go with Anthropocene.
Most of the things, including maybe climate change, have been done by males, but still you would, uh, I would say, blame women for that as well, no? You would agree?
So it's very difficult to quantify what percentage of climate change is contributed by women. So I would still go with Anthropocene, given the benefit of doubt.
Okay, according to you, like, which is the most significant and yet isolated city in India?
So, significant and isolated. So I think maybe Lahul Spiti district, I think, is significant and yet isolated.
Okay, all right. And uh, one particular thing that has always been there. Geology has helped a lot of scientists, including Charles Darwin. How do you think geology helped Charles Darwin come up with the theory of evolution?
So I can make a conjecture, but I don't know for sure, sir. Okay, should I attempt?
Yeah, sure, sure. Please go ahead.
So Charles Darwin, taking help of geology to find a theory of evolution. So I think it must have to do with some fossils and remains of the past period that he must have studied.
In
So,
which places exactly? Like in two isolated places, which were thousands of miles apart, and similar fossils were found. That's correct. Absolutely correct. Okay. And what is an H index?
sorry, I couldn't hear it correctly.
What is an H index?
H index, sir. Sir, I know about a Herfindahl's index, which
Okay.
is used for calculation of regional disparity, but I'm not sure if that's the index you're
No,
looking.
it's used for publications because you've written your H index of a publication, a research article. So, what according to you is the most significant research piece of research in geography that has altered the course of geography?
So I think the most significant debate research paper in geography was one which was published by the Association of American Geographers. It's called the paper is called Exceptionalism in Geography. It is basically a debate between a geographer, Hartshorne, and a economist. His name is Schaefer. Both of them have, through this particular paper, they have decided on the course that geography will take, whether it will be more quantitative in its orientation or whether it will be more descriptive. What will be the subject matter of geography was decided by this paper, sir.
Okay. Just one last question. What is revenge of geography and how does it impact India?
So, revenge of geography.
Yes, sir. I guess it's a concept given by Kaplan, no?
Sir, sir, I'll have to look it up, sir. I have heard it, but I'm not sure, sir. So I'll look it up.
That's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Akanksha. Now for feedback. How do you think your interview went today? Your interaction went with us?
Ma'am, I did not find it up to the mark, ma'am. I thought,
So what do you think you did not so well?
ma'am, actually, in the recent few days, I've not been able to follow the newspaper and too many things are happening. So I have to, ma'am, keep myself abreast. So I'll read upon it.
Yeah, you come to the point yourself. Incidentally, do you know what is Himadri? Have you heard of Himadri?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes.
What is it? Why was it in the news recently?
Ma'am, Himadri, ma'am, there are two Himadris. One, I know that it is part of the Himalayas, Himadri, Himachal, and Shivalik, and one is a research station of India.
Yes.
In
It
the
was in
up,
the news recently for what?
ma'am, I've missed it. I'll look it up.
Never mind. Okay. So, first of all, you come out as being extremely intelligent. You are able to muster your arguments. You're articulate. The specificity of the word you use is admirable. You use just the right word. There is no golmol on that. Very pleasant. Now, the fact that you're not reading the papers is showing very painfully. That is reflecting. I wanted to ask you about gardening. I did not. That can throw up a whole bunch of things about botany, this, that. I hope you're prepared for that.
Yes,
They'll throw up a whole bunch of things. Hydroponics, this, that, latest techniques, indoor, outdoor, environmental, etc., etc. So prepare that. This informal letter writing business, you need to come up with very good reasons why you're wanting to do that. Just communication in this era is not enough.
okay, ma'am.
Then on the UP questions, the silk one also, the Gyan Vapi, the Krishna Janmabhoomi, you need to prepare. You need to be clear. You need to know, yes, you're right about Aurangzeb, but ASI is commencing a survey, and Muslim parties went to the court and they said it's a violation of the Place of Worship Act. So the courts held no, they can go ahead to a non-invasive survey. After all, what's the problem? They say they found shivlings and blah, blah. Basically, they want to remove the mosque. So Krishna Janmabhoomi also, there is a portion of 11 something acres which is disputed. They said this is the birthplace of Sri Krishna. And that is where the Eidgah, it's not a mosque, it's an Eidgah stands. So you must be fully prepared with this. You are from Varanasi, so you will get asked, you can get asked silk, you will get asked Gyan Vapi, you will get asked all this. You must prepare. Then silk, incidentally, now you don't get any more Indian yarn, you only get Chinese yarn. It's very poor quality and shiny, it's not sheeny. It's shine and thin. So yes, it is handloom industry. That's everywhere is languishing. And Banaras was largely handloom. So that is that. Then we do criminal bills. I will not go further into it. You need to read up.
I will.
You need to read up. It is criminal not to know these criminal bills.
Read, ma'am.
There's so much of legislation in this session. You must be abreast. Telecom, IT one's gone before. All these things, they've it's in the face of many things. Polity, shall we speak? The suspensions that have taken place, the rules under which suspensions, first they are named, etc., etc. All these political issues you need to be well abreast of. Then on the Silkyara case study, my take on it is, you are the district magistrate, you are the leader of the district. Your role is several-fold. One is organizing the rescue as such, which is mobilizing all the agencies, internal to district or external. NDRF is one of them. In this case, they got the expert from Australia and all, which incidentally that role was played by the PMO in this case. He got. So getting all the requisite things. Then second is, after that, organizing the actual beneficiaries in their families, this, that, food, etc., to mention. Third thing is handling the media. People must know what is happening, instilling confidence. They must know what's happening. Whatever you may feel inside, as DM, you have to overcome all your fears. I remember as DM, there's a calamity that happened after 70 years. The Nainital Lake had come on the Mall Road, and they opened the sluice gates, not going. And I walked through town in waist-high water, telling everybody it's fine, and nothing was fine. But you have to handle that. So, and then after the rescue, there's a post-rescue situation on. So this may be Silkyara, it may be a flood, it may be anything else. You be prepared with that. Case study is where your real, what you're all about comes out. Okay, and otherwise, I think you did very well. But you need to read up, you need to prepare. Will you express, you read that explained column?
Yes, ma'am. I will do.
Economic, you did a recovery on that point, but it was very obvious that you need to know more about it. We have not asked you economic questions. Inflation, interest rates, unemployment, all that, you need to be up on that. I thought, I don't know what's the answer to your significant yet isolated. I would have given Arunachal Pradesh.
Okay, ma'am.
I don't know, whatever he'll probably give another answer, because it's isolated. It's so significant because it's China is claiming it. In fact, there, all the Arunachalis, they speak Hindi like us. They're taught Hindi. Our accent, they speak Hindi. Because it's totally, guys, because it's the border. But I think you came out very, very well. But you have to work between now and 15 January. You have to work very hard.
Ma'am, actually, my interview is just next week. So I have to.
It writes 15 Jan.
No, ma'am, no. My interview, I think it's a misprint. My interview is.
Sorry. Akanchha, oh, yes, you're 3rd Jan.
3rd Jan.
Yes, of course. No, then you do need to prioritize what you're doing. You need to prioritize, just read up and invest 2 hours in the newspaper. Otherwise, you're on everything. I mean, you're a natural. So that's the best part of you, but the substance has to be there. You will get asked at least 2-3 questions on current affairs. You must know. You can ask women questions, you can get asked about the various legislation, women-friendly legislations or policies, schemes. You can get asked about the wrestling business, Wrestling Federation of India business. You can get asked changes in the CRPC, IPC, etc., etc. Prepare for that. Specific to targeted preparation. Right?
Okay.
All right. Mr. Verma. I got your date wrong, sorry.
No.
Well, Akanchha, any question coming to your mind?
Sir, no, sir, no. How could I have answered that question better, sir? When you said that there is a mine collapse, what will you do?
Okay. If there is a rescue which is happening within hours, then rescue is most important. You have to think logically.
Yes,
You are a
yes.
district magistrate or superintendent of police or some person who is first responder, we directly respond. But if rescue is not happening in matters of hours, then what becomes more important than rescue? Right to life.
Yes, sir.
Logically सोचना है.
Yes, sir.
It's a test of your personality. It is not test of your knowledge.
Yes, sir.
तो right to life becomes.
Yes, sir.
आप सोचो आप फंस गए हो कहीं पर और आपको पता है कि अगले 5-6-8 दिन में मेरा रेस्क्यू नहीं होना है. So what becomes important? Your life. Will you survive that long or not?
Yes, sir.
So this is how we have to. आप जब इस तरह से जवाब देते हो तो इंटरव्यू बोर्ड will know. Yes, here is a candidate. Mind is working, who is thinking, not just reproducing what he or she might have learned somewhere, some resource material or something.
Yes.
Like this Naxalite issue.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you
sir.
may be knowing the need of hierarchy by Maslow. The most basic are, again, right to life, food, safety, security, etc., etc.
Yes,
Higher needs comes next. You are from, you have exposure to Jharkhand, that Chota Nagpur area and all that.
yes, sir.
Those who are living in jungle, वो बिजली की बात बाद में करेंगे, सड़क की बात बाद में करेंगे, ब्रिज की बात बाद में करेंगे. पहले क्या जरूरी है? Do they have ownership of the land? Are their lands safe? Are their children free to go to the school? Are their daughters safe?
Yes, sir.
If they marry their son and the bahu is coming to their home, bahu is coming to their home or bahu is going to somewhere else? These are the things which hurts most.
Yes, sir.
You pick up wherever this Naxal problem started, these are the common threads.
Okay, sir.
So you have to say it in a proper manner. Their very basic needs were not being met, were rather being violated. Reach of administration, reach of government was not as much as it should have been. So taking advantage of this vacuum kind of situation, and they being pushed to the corner, they fell into the lap of these Naxal ideologues. They saw, okay, they are our saviors. A balanced answer, not a theoretical answer. A person who has seen the ground situation should say something more than what is being written in the resource material and all that. You are good. Your communication skills are good. You are able to communicate with the information which is coming to your mind, which you are recalling. Now, what matters is how to improve upon it. अब हमारा ज्यादा टाइम नहीं है, जो टाइम है वर्क ऑन इट.
Okay, sir.
सोच लो, आज जैसे इंटरव्यू खत्म होता है, सोच लो कि कोई एक इशू है, नक्सलिज्म ही एक इशू है. Go into the meditation on Naxalism. Think on this topic for the next 5-10 minutes. Then jot down the topics which comes to your mind, the points which comes to mind. Then see, are they coming in the right priority order? Then knock off what is irrelevant. Tick what is more relevant. And you will be training yourself to give a good answer.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Best wishes. You are a very good candidate.
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Varun.
Akanchha, just one thing. Right. So it's like next week, right? 1 week.
Yes, sir. Wednesday next week.
Right. So just make sure you are reading the newspaper every day, right? Okay. Read as much as possible. Pick up 2 newspapers at least, right?
Yes, sir.
Rest ma'am has focus on Varanasi. I think that is one area they focus upon. The
Yes, sir.
other area might be geographical, right? The geography, because you're doing your PhD, you're a professor. So from a teacher to an administrator, those type of questions may be discussed in the interview, right?
Yes.
Besides that, I would say, just believe that you can do this.
Sir,
At
I
the,
couldn't get the last line, what you said, sir.
I said at the end of the day, you have to believe that you can do this,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
right? So just because and it's a huge opportunity. The first week is a huge opportunity because there's no bias, right? Okay, they have not seen somebody better than you, at least this year. So if
Yes,
you
sir.
don't, you'll get a higher score than what you would normally get, right?
Yes.
So think of this as an opportunity rather than think, yeah, they've called you on the first day.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right? So think in terms of, yeah, this is something that has worked in my favor, and we can do this.
Okay, sir.
आकांक्षा जैसे देयर आर फ्यू थिंग्स जो डार्क खुलती नजर आ रही हैं आपके डार्क में ज्योग्राफी का कंप्लीट देयर इज अ फ्लो ऑफ ज्योग्राफी ठीक है जैसे राइट फ्रॉम योर ग्रेजुएशन टू पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन देन एमफिल सभी ज्योग्राफी में चल रहा है तो आई कुड सी अ लॉट ऑफ ज्योग्राफी एंड देन लेटर्स में देयर वर अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चन जैसे मैम ने शुरू में ही आपसे पूछना शुरू कर दिया तो लेटर्स पे तो यू नीड टू बी थोड़ा सा ऐसे थॉरो एंड वो थोड़ा वो सिंस it pertains to literature and all तो you can be slightly जैसे अपने पाले में गेंद ला सकते हो ना थोड़ा easy कर सकते हो उनको and maybe you can already formulate some good answers on certain topic जैसे एक मूवी देखी आपने वो मूवी there's a movie her have you seen her he writes Joaquin Phoenix writes letters informal letters to a lot of people he does it as a job
Okay, sir.
ओके नहीं जनरली I'm just saying yeah कि अगर किसी ने मान लो देखी हो तो उसके बारे में बात हो सकती है ओके तो लेटर दिखता है ज्योग्राफी दिखती है तो ज्योग्राफी पे कंफर्टेबल हो जाओगे तो ऑलरेडी लाइक यू आर अ वेरी स्टूडियस एंड वेरी वेरी एकेडमिक कैंडिडेट तो बहुत ही अच्छा होगा और एक ना जैसे ना जनरली सिंस मेरे जैसे सोशियोलॉजी के बच्चों के साथ तो मेरी बात हो जाती है एक पर्टिकुलर एक्सरसाइज है जो विच हेल्प्स अ लॉट इन द लास्ट डेज इज जो जैसे एक्सप्रेस में और हिंदू में कोई भी अगर आप न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हो उसमें ना लेटर्स टू द एडिटर आती हैं
जी
वो बहुत ही जैसे ना एक जैसे मतलब मेरे जैसा लेट्स से और जैसे पैनलिस्ट जैसा हम किसी एक पर्टिकुलर फील्ड में बहुत एक्सपर्ट तो हो नहीं सकते कि ये पर्टिकुलर फील्ड में पॉलिटी में इकोनॉमी में कुछ कुछ चीज़ों में कुछ कुछ पता होता है एक्स्ट्रा तो बाकी सब कुछ तो ऐसे ही डिराइव्ड नॉलेज ही होती है सरफेस नॉलेज होती है तो जो आम इंसान क्या सोच रहा है ना वो पता लगता है लेटेस्ट एडिटर के थ्रू कि आम इंसान जो कि एक एवरेज सा अवेयर इंसान है उसको क्या पता होगा एंड तो लेटर एडिटर में ना यू गेट दोज वाइब्स कि क्या सवाल चल रहे हैं लोगों के मन में तो पिछले पिछले कुछ दिनों के उठाकर और ना जैसे दो तीन लेटर पब्लिश करते हैं वो है ना तो वो क्विकली यू कैन सी एंड यू कैन गेज कि ना कि जनता में चल क्या रहा है तो थोड़े एडिक्वेटली पढ़े लिखे सिटीजन हैं उनके मन में चल क्या रहा है तो लेटेस्ट टू द एडिटर इज अ ग्रेट एक्सरसाइज टू डू अगर लेट्स से आपको कोई और दोस्त जो इंटरव्यू वगैरह दे रहा हो तो उस तक पहुंचा देना तो बहुत सारे आप ना ऑटोमेटिकली यू एंड अप जजिंग द क्वेश्चंस कि क्वेश्चंस क्या होने वाला तो वन पर्टिकुलर थिंग जो विच आई हैव सीन ओवर द इयर्स इट वर्क्स वंडर्स बहुत ही अच्छा इससे आपका ना एक टेम्परामेंट बिल्ड हो जाता है
ओके
ज्योग्राफी लेटेस्ट टू द एडिटर उससे करंट अफेयर्स भी ब्रश अप होते रहते हैं रैपिडली एंड बाकी जो जनरली आई थिंक यू वेरी हैव अ वेरी प्लेजेंट चेहरा तो ऑफिसर टाइप चेहरा बोलते हैं इसको तो फील कॉन्फिडेंट अबाउट दैट
ओके सर
ठीक है
Okay.
ऑन
You
ऑल
can
द
also
बेस्ट
get on the education policy. You're a teacher.
यस
So
मैम
we can talk about that. You can get questions on that. Be prepared. The new education, no longer new education policy.
यस मैम
Is there anything else you would like to ask any of us? Any doubt you want to clarify? All right, well said.
Ma'am, just one doubt that I have, maybe you can clarify. Ma'am, we are supposed to wear formal dress for interview, so I wanted to ask, since it's cold right now, so I mean, other girls were saying that blazer is appropriate, but can we have a longer coat? I mean, will it be called formal if it's a slightly longer coat?
Longer coat means below the knees.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, not below the knee, a little above the knee, ma'am.
It's all right. You're going to wear a sari. Are you
Uh,
comfortable in a sari?
not a lot, so I'll wear a
Then
plain.
don't wear whatever you are comfortable in. Let
Okay.
it be formal. Do you have silk?
Yes, ma'am.
So wear a silk suit
Okay, ma'am.
and wear a smart coat. It doesn't matter. It's perfectly fine.
Okay, ma'am.
The shorter one is more formal, but that is also okay. You
Okay.
should be comfortable. You should look good. You should not look casual. That is all.
Okay, ma'am. Thank
Your
you.
hair you'll tie up and things.
Yes, ma'am. I'll try it.
Think good and be neat.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Read the newspapers
Yes,
in a
ma'am.
very strategic manner, and nothing can stop you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay?
Thank you.
All the best.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.